now. Okay. So my name is Vivi Acosta. For all of you guys who already know me and seen me in the previous session, or if this is the first one, I am the Director of Economic Empowerment at the Hispanic Federation. I am very excited about the program that we have organized for you today, which is the fourth and the final webinar of our four-part series, where we help you learn about interviewing best practices and local job opportunities that you can apply to as soon as today. If you're interested in learning about details of our previous sessions, you could visit our webpage at HispanicFederation.org. It will be posted on our YouTube channel, so you could always go back and refer to them, and you'll be receiving our emails with just all of the resources and the recap of what we're presenting on today. And as you know, this was a very methodical, planned out series. Our first session was designed for you to explore career pathways, then working in the public sector, how to improve your job hunting strategies was our third. And today's session, again, you'll learn from some experts that we have here and that have joined us today on how to sharpen your interview skills and open positions that we will share with you. Before we start, 5 points that we want to make clear. Make sure that you are muted. We are clicking on the Q&A icon to submit any questions at any time. And you could use the chat for comments. And again, we're just reminding anyone that is joining now that this webinar will be recorded. Now, let's jump into today's event, interview and recruitment workshop. For our agenda, we'll be hearing from recruitment experts about vital interview skills, which are going to include the breakdown of the two most common interview formats, best practices for interview prep and follow-up. And again, we're going to share open opportunities that you can apply to as soon as today. Now, let me introduce you to our first presenter, Cheryl Pickett from Capital One, who is the engagement specialist from the Community and Impact and Investment Department. She was joined by 4 of her expert team members that will be sharing their expertise with you today also. Thank you, Cheryl, and the entire Capital One team for volunteering your time today. Please take it away.
Thank you, Vivi. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Cheryl Pickett, and I am an engagement specialist here at Capital One. And welcome to Interviewing 101. Today, we're going to take a look into the fundamentals of behavioral interviews. I have my Capital One colleagues with me today who are also going to help me teach you about everything and all things interviewing. But first, if you could go to slide 2, I'm going to introduce myself, tell you a little bit about myself, and also my colleagues are going to introduce themselves as well. My name is Cheryl Pickett. I have been with Capital One for 12 years, and I've been in the CSR space, my current position, for 6 years. And I'm originally from Virginia, but I'm now a bona fide New Yorker. I've lived here for 22 years, and I'm, despite the past 2 years, I'm still gonna stick with New York. But I'm gonna pass it on to one of my colleagues.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon. I've been with Capital One pretty recently, since mid-March of this year. I currently do internal mobility recruiting. So I basically help our tech employees transition across teams and things like that. And yeah, I'll be helping Cheryl present today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yesenia. I've been with Capital One for over 8 years. I recently actually transitioned to a new role within Capital One. So I wanted to participate and hopefully share my experience with each of you and get to know each of you in one way or another.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Matt Calamaris. I lead Capital One's commercial loan closing division. I am originally from New York, born and raised Jackson Heights. So hello to all my Queens folks out on the line today. I relocated to Texas 3 years ago, and I am a certified behavioral interviewer. So I'm looking forward to our time today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Gary Malley. I'm also from Capital One, and I'm actually in the IT team. So I would fix your computer or your laptop or your phone if you're having any issues. And I work out of our New York City office, and I'm born and raised out of Bronx, New York. So hello to everyone, and looking forward to having a fun interview event with all of you.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, everyone. All right, if we go to the next slide. Now let's hear about a little bit about the folks who are joining us today. So what I would love to see, if you can put in your chat, you can let us know your name and where you're from. And let us know if you've had, if you've been on an interview within the past year for a job. And then in one word, share how you felt about that interview. So we'd love to hear your name and have any of you been on a job interview from the last year. Hi, Alicia. From Texas. Hey. Oh, hi, Avita. Jocelyn, nice to meet you. Okay, you haven't been in any interviews so far, and that's okay. Hi, Linda. I would love, so I say some folks have not been on an interview, but okay, let's change the question a little bit. How do you feel about going on an interview? Say tomorrow. I would love to hear that. Nerve-wracking.
Cheryl, I see a note from Lysandra. It scrolled up that she's not a good interviewer. I'd love to know, Lysandra, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what are those things, those opportunities that you think don't make you a good interviewer, and why? Jose from Peru, mi gente.
I saw one person, I missed the name, but they said that they like interviews, but they are nervous, which is everybody. And I don't think that feeling ever goes away for interviews. I think, yep, nervous again, I see. And I think that's just absolutely normal. And to be honest, I don't think that ever will go away. If I went on an interview tomorrow, I would be nervous. But the best way to just kind of control those nerves is being prepared for your interview, which is what we're going to discuss today a little bit. I think being prepared is the best thing you can do to alleviate those issues. So if we go to the next page, we'll just talk about a little bit, when you go into an interview, let's talk a little bit about job interview behavior. Oh, sorry, today's agenda, I'm sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. Today's agenda, so what we're gonna talk about today is general interviewing tips. We're gonna talk about the breakdown of two most common interview formats, and then tools for answering interview questions. And then we're gonna give you some tips for interviewing. And then we're also gonna have a little mock interview session for you all, so that you can see examples of different types of interviews, where things that you should do and things you shouldn't do. Okay, now if you could go to the next page. Okay, so going into a job interview, there's just certain behaviors that you want to think about. There's some do's and don'ts. I'm gonna have you just read it for a couple minutes.
And for Cheryl, if I could also ask the audience, for those of you who have been on an interview, as you're going through the list, did any of these occur on that interview? Did you perform some of those do's or some of those don'ts? I'd love to see that in the chat.
I see nervous again. Well, I can also mention just some things, Matt, if you could say, I can say asking questions at the end of the interview. Having, even if say you go on an interview and you have no questions, and I think it's good to have at least one to just kind of have on hand that you can ask to show that you're interested into it. Oh, you felt like you were dominating the interview. Got James, I see. And that is something like sometimes you know, because you're nervous or, you know, you'll just start chatting away.
James, thank you for sharing. Another instance where that could also be, please remember, just because the interviewer is the one who's assessing your qualifications for a job, doesn't necessarily mean that they have experience in interviewing people. So sometimes it might be easy for you to overshadow them because they're new to this as well.
Oh, California doesn't have good interviews, I guess. Okay, if you go to next slide 6. So tell me about yourself. So this is a question that is asked, I think, pretty much for any interview that you go on. And this is a cue. I like to think of the tell me about yourself. That is your way of telling your interview pitch, or I'm sorry, your elevator pitch. Is there anyone on the call who knows what an elevator pitch is? Oh, yes, please, elevator pitch. So I like to think of the elevator pitch is a quick synopsis of what your background and experience is. So the reason why it's called an elevator pitch is because it should be as short as an elevator ride. So about 30 to 60 seconds. So we're not going to spend a lot of time here, but I do think that having an elevator pitch is having it at the ready will really help you when you go on your job interviews and when the interviewer does ask you, tell me about yourself. And so I like to say, when you're thinking about how to create it, you want to talk a little bit about what your current role is. So if you have a job, talk about what your current experience is. Maybe if there's a recent accomplishment that you have, you want to like add that to that. Like say you got commended at work for something really great. If you want to talk about that, then you want to tell the interviewer how you get there, how you got to that job, and mention any previous experience that's relevant to the job that you have. And then you're going to lastly talk about what you're looking to do next and why you're interested in the current job. And I will also say what you can do is as well is if you're having problems with like your elevator pitch or like that answer, tell me about yourself. If you go online and just say, tell me about yourself for job interview examples, you can find templates to just kind of help you out to think about what you can say.
And Cheryl, if I can also add, the beauty about an elevator pitch is it's never one thing. You will adapt it over time as your life changes, as your careers change. What you want to do is practice, practice, practice. The more you practice it, the better you'll get, and the more natural it will feel when you get into an interview situation.
Okay, and next slide, please. So there are two types of interviewing. There is behavioral and case study. Today, we are only going to be focused on behavioral interviews, but I do want to tell you what a case study interview is. A case study interview is when you're given a client situation where you analyze a problem and offer the best advice to solve it within a certain amount of time. So a lot of times this can be a written interview where you're just presented a scenario and you're supposed to answer how you would resolve that problem. But today we're going to be working on, if you move to the next slide, behavioral interviews. And behavioral interviews are structured questions given to find out an interviewer's particular experience and to assess your core competencies such as communication, influence, teamwork, and your results. I like to say simply in my head what a behavioral interview is me, say if I'm the interviewer, I want to know, I'll use these questions to find out, are you qualified for this job? And am I going to like you? Because that's just as important. Matt, do you have, I know you're like the behavioral interview expert, but did you have anything to add to that?
No, Cheryl, you're hitting the nail on the head. Oftentimes, when a candidate applies for a job, they expect the interview to be just the person asking you a question and you responding to that question. What I like most about the behavioral interview is that it's intended to be more of a conversation where you can share and pull examples from your life experience to address some of the questions that they may be asking you. And the one thing, Cheryl, I hope I'm not jumping ahead on your slides, but I often find that the behavioral interviews are situational. Tell me about a time when. And this is where you can tell a story. But Cheryl's going to share a lot more information with you right now on it.
Yes, that's a good leadway to our next slide. So when answering behavioral questions, it is very important to let the interviewer know the work that you specifically did versus your team, and what others did who worked with you. So just basically when we were speaking about the behavioral questions, it's important to talk about what you specifically did. And on the slide, it has some different types of behavioral questions that you might see. Tell me about how you worked effectively under pressure. Another one is give an example of a goal you reached and tell me how you achieved it. And really quick, I just out of the, in the chat, if you can answer this. So tell me about how you worked effectively and under pressure. If you can on the chat, can you tell me what is the interviewer looking for in that question? Oh, the star rate. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Mark, we're going to talk about that. Would anyone know how to know what the interviewer is trying to figure out when they're asking a question like this? Tell me about how you worked effectively under pressure, or any of the questions. Victor, that's okay. We're going to give you that answer soon. Victor, don't worry. Thank you, Mark. So that's a great one. The interviewer wants to know if you can work in an, oh gosh, it went so fast. Oh, Mark, I'm so sorry. It left the screen. I didn't see it, but yes, Mark, that was right. Right, how you can cope with various scenarios, yes. Trying to find out if you can multitask. Yes, Enzo, exactly. Exactly. Sometimes I think, I like to think sometimes these questions are coded. The interviewer wants to know how I handle stress. Yes, Tina, exactly. All these are exactly right. Test your capabilities, exactly. So those are what behavioral questions do. So if we can go to the next slide, and the SAR. So earlier today, I believe it was Mark, he said the STAR method. I'm afraid I don't know what the STAR method is. We have the SAR method. STAR, if the person who said STAR, if you could tell me what the T means, I'd appreciate that. But something that helps you to prepare for an interview is called the SAR Response Model. So S is, what? Oh, sorry. So say you have a question. What's one thing you've accomplished that you are most proud of? To answer this question, you would use this SAR method, which is S, what was the situation? Then you talk about the action, what was the task? And then finally, what was the result? So when answering a behavioral interview type of question, it is important to let the interviewer know the work that you specifically did versus what your team did, which I mentioned before. And if you turn to the next slide, we're going to go a little bit into it more completely. And so on this slide, we have an example that was made up, but I do want you to just think about an example for yourself when we're going through these next couple of slides. So that again, if you can go back up to the S, yeah, okay, yes. So the question is, can you tell me about a time when you went up above and beyond to deliver excellent customer service? So if in this example, if you can read, now I'm going to let you read it, but the person was, okay, I'll read it. It was like, so when I was working at a cafe, we were preparing to put up flyers advertising our new coffee rewards program. After encountering a language barrier serving a Spanish-speaking customer, I realized we had not considered creating flyers in Spanish, even though a percentage of our customers were Spanish-speaking. So this is the situation. This is the problem. Okay, now you can go to the next slide. Thank you, Vivi, or Peter. And then you're going to now list the action or the tasks that you did to resolve that problem. I realized there was only one solution, and that was for me to stay behind in the evening and translate the verbiage myself using Google Translate, as I am not Spanish speaking. It took a few hours, and around 8 p.m. I was done. Then I let our team know about the update. So that was the action that they did to solve the issue. And next slide, please. And then you want to let them know the result of your action. So in the end, both of our English and Spanish speaking customers were able to easily enter our rewards program, and we're very grateful for detailed instructions without having to encounter a language barrier. So that's using the SARS method. Can you tell me what's your initial thoughts about this method, and what are your thoughts on it? And how are you seeing that the way that this answer was made, how it is, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? It shows just skills. I see people are like really impressed with the answer. I think the SARS method, I think for me, for interviewing, I think of it as a great way to just break it down in your head. So it's like, first you want to say, okay, this is what the problem was that we had. This is how I came up with a solution, and this is how it resulted. And so you're showing the interviewer your problem-solving skills. And you're also being specific. I think that's another thing to add, to being as specific and showing examples of specific scenarios. I think that's very important. Okay, so if we can go to the next slide. After the interview, after the interview, after you're done and you've rocked that interview, if you can go to the next slide. There's a few things that you should do after the interview. You want to make sure that you send a thank you note or email. I would love to hear from the people on the team. I've always done an email. I've never sent a note, but we still say notes. But I've always sent an email to the interviewer right after the interview. If the interview has any last minute follow-up calls, emails, or voicemails, if the interviewer or someone from HR, you want to make sure that you get to them quick. Follow up within 24 hours. I personally think even less than 24 hours, that's me, but you want to just follow up real quickly. Be positive, be patient. That's a big one. Sometimes, I guess, depending on the company, some folks are just slow with the response. Some people are just slow. Don't take it personally. Just some companies with the decision making. And then also on social media, you want to follow them and stay connected. Okay, if we can go to the next slide. Oh, and here's a follow-up email as well that you can use. And again, and what I can do, Vivi, I believe, because I know you can't, I can try to send it to you, Vivi, like some templates for folks. I don't know how you can get it to everybody else. Or again, another thing, I think the internet is a great tool to get just examples of just like thank you notes to kind of just, they provide templates, and you can just kind of, use your own words. Please use your own words, but I think it's good for inspiration.
And yes, Cheryl, we could definitely share. Afterwards, everyone will be getting an email. So remember, guys, we're sharing all these resources with you and the presentation as well. Okay, awesome. Great. Thank you. Okay, and the next slide.
Cheryl, I just wanted to share, there may be some interviewers, the email is absolutely the current format. I'm a little bit more traditional. I prefer, I've tried to send handwritten thank you cards.
Wow, okay.
I picked these up on Amazon, $50 for a very economical amount. Sometimes a handwritten note, if that is something that you're comfortable doing, just adds that extra little touch, that extra little differentiator between you and perhaps somebody else who applied for that job.
Thank you, Matt, because I didn't know. Thank you. Okay, and so now we're going to do a little practice session, having a little fun. My colleagues are going to show you some good interviewing and some bad interviewing. And what I would love on the chat is if you can kind of let us know your thoughts about these interviews. I don't think you'll be able to see them, unfortunately, but you can, I guess you can hear them. I think we're going to have first, let's have Gary and Yesenia with their job interviews. And we're going to let them go for a couple of minutes. And then afterwards, we're just going to give the feedback. And don't worry, you're not going to hurt anyone's feelings by being honest. So Gary and Yesenia, I'm going to have you take it away. So this is a mock interview. Oh, Gary, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, great. So you can take it away.
Are we starting with me?
Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, Gary, if you didn't hear me. So Gary, you're going to be the interviewer, so you can interview for Yesenia.
Okay, sure. Good morning, Yesenia. Thank you for applying today for the position. Can you please tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Gary. A little bit about myself. There's not really much to say. I have graduated from school, and before I've worked in fast food restaurant, Chipotle. I love it. I think you have had it too. A lot of people love it. And so I also worked in retail, specifically Bath and Body Works. I love their scent. So I done those part-time jobs, and yeah.
All right. Yesenia, why don't you tell me a little bit about how you worked effectively under pressure, maybe in Chipotle?
Oh my God, yes. So Chipotle is like very popular with a lot of people, and sometimes we get catering orders. So I remember this one time where we had an order for a business, and there were 75 separate orders. So we had to go in early and start on the prepping of the food, making sure the labels were done correctly, because sometimes there's customers who have like food allergies, so we always have to separate those from the other customers. And once we did all that, and I was the one who made sure that each bag had the respective order, and like I mentioned, that the ones who had food allergies were separated in everything, even in the bagging as well. I make sure we did all of that, and since it needed to be done by noon, make sure that everything was done by noon too.
Okay. And maybe in Bath and Body Works, can you give me an example of maybe a goal that they had you reach, or maybe tell me how you were able to achieve it? Like maybe a sales goal, or maybe your manager asked you to sell a certain amount of products per day?
So I guess like a goal, we always do have a sales goal. We have monthly sales goal that we have to do, and it could be December, January, February, March, any of those months. But usually we are trying to sell like a specific product. We get, especially over the summer, we get like these new products for like the beach scents or sand scents or stuff like that. And we always have to make sure that we reach, especially in the summer. Sometimes our goal is like having sales of up to 15,000 in the whole month, and we would usually, in order to entice those sales, I would just go out. Where usually my location was in the mall, so I would go to different stores within the mall, give out samples that was within our budget, calculated all of that in there, and just made sure that it was done properly. And yeah, that's what we used to do.
All right. Sounds like you were really busy there. How about some challenges? Can you tell me an example of maybe some challenges that you were able to handle Let's go back to Chipotle, maybe during lunch hour when the line is really long. Can you tell me how would you handle working with your coworkers during that challenging time?
Um, um, so when certain challenges we did have, yes, it was the lines were very busy, and sometimes, unfortunately, someone will call out sick. So that made it a bit harder on us. So I would have to, since usually I'm the one who had knowledge on the separate items on the line. We have like the beginning roll and how to do the tortillas, and then go to the salad bar, which is like where our sauces are, and like our like sour cream and lettuce and stuff like that. I also, when I had to take over, I would have to like prep the food as well, because I'm one of the one who like cuts the food and make sure everything, all the items are there on the line. So I would just have to go from one place to another and just make sure the line still goes through, because I would have to fill in no matter what. We always had to fill in if something was missing.
Gary, can you make this one your last question?
Yes, sure. Yesenia, we really much appreciate your time and thank you for applying. We just wanted to ask you one more question. What is your definition of teamwork? And tell us how you think you would best fit into our team. What makes you stand out?
So definition of teamwork is everyone working all together like a puzzle, having you do a specific thing, having everyone come together for one common goal. And oh, sorry, my phone was ringing. I forgot to put it on silent. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
And
It's fine. We're okay with the interview now. Thank you for applying and have a great day.
thank you.
Thank you, Yesenia and Gary. That was terrific. That was great. And we got a lot of folks in the chat. So a lot of things, I hear themes, common themes with the feedback, and a lot of folks are saying confidence. Yesenia seems to not have confidence. I would love to hear her phone at the end, yes. Her phone should not ring. You want to make sure you have it on silent or turned off, which is even better. Any other feedback? I have feedback, but I'm going to hold off.
And Cheryl, I did see that the comments are coming in fast. So
Yes.
I see that a few folks said that she was using fillers. If you can touch a little bit on fillers.
Yes, thank you.
And also the volume or her tone.
Yes, so fillers. So there's like, yeah, those are the fillers. There's a lot of fillers.
Cheryl, I'll say the very popular New Yorker one, no, I don't know. That's why you're interviewing.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, I just want to tell you, that's not just New York. They have it in Virginia too. I'm from Virginia.
There was another observation. I did not see it in the chat, but did anyone catch the body language that Yesenia was displaying? Anyone want to drop a note in the chat? I was waiting to see if someone would catch it. And Yesenia did it so subtly. Tina, thank you for that. Uzoma, thank you.
Yes.
Ah, there you go.
Eye contact. That's something I didn't think about.
Looking down, but she was also rocking. She was almost like in a rocking chair for a good portion of the interview.
Yes.
How about Gary, the interviewer? How did he do? Were there any things that Gary did in particular as an interviewer that resonated with you? My goodness, a lot of comments coming through.
Yeah, her voice was down.
Did you feel, 'cause I felt, did you feel like Gary set a safe space for Yesenia and gave her enough room for her to answer her questions with a level of detail? Like, he wasn't stressful. He didn't seem like he was pressuring her. Anybody notice that? Questions were precise. Thank you, Mark. Gary wasn't pressuring her. Thank you, Joe. Gary gave her enough time to answer. That was another important consideration. Thank you.
The interviewer was calm. Mhm.
Use a soft voice. Gary made her relaxed. Great observation, Sai.
Gave her a lot of time. Exactly. Matt, were you finished with that thought? Because I have another thought. I just don't want to.
All you.
Okay, so I will say I'm going to give Yesenia something positive that Yesenia did. So from what I'm hearing in the interviewing, and I can see that she does know the job. Like I'm hearing through it all. I heard it's like, okay, she does do the work. She is familiar with how to do the work, but I think what I guess made it not a great interview is because of the fillers, the not appearing confident, and the body language. I think that definitely shows. And so I think, and I'm going to try to wrap up because we have another group, but I think what would have helped Yesenia, so I'm thinking right off, is to I didn't hear specifics, so I did hear kind of like generalizations of how she resolved issues and how she worked. It was very, very general, but it wasn't specific. How could she have made it better? What some examples that she could have done that would have helped her? I think another one is also to, like I was saying, being precise, exactly, being precise and to the point. Anybody else? I think for Yesenia too, as I keep talking, I think I think is a great point of the importance of being prepared and just thinking about your answers in advance and thinking about the type of questions that you're going to be asked, and having those answers prepared beforehand would have helped Yesenia a whole lot. Being bold, exactly. Maintaining eye contact is important. Maintaining eye contact and being able to answer your questions confidently. Like, I did this. Yesenia, can I ask, did you work at Chipotle? You seem to know a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Did you work at Chipotle?
I actually did work at Chipotle.
Okay,
and
Like, she sure does know how to work.
I know the whole line. Very acrylic. So
Okay.
yeah, I pull from my experience this little example.
Oh, you know, I saw someone say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, but you said smiling. And yes, like, you should be proud of the work that you've done. Show some, you know, be proud. Smile. Like, yes, this is my accomplishments. Oh, that's a good one, Mia, about just terminology, keywords. That's a good one. There's just some terms like I executed, launched, maximize. Now this, and that's if it comes natural to you. Okay, I'm going to have to move on because of time. But we have our next interview is with Matt and Shannon. And so I'm going, yes, Derek, yes. So I'm gonna let you both take the lead for this next interview. And just to give you kind of a heads up, this is like, what are you supposed to do? Well, anyway, no, I'll let you watch. So Matt and Shannon, take it away.
And before we get started, Albert, you had a chat earlier. Here's what you were looking for. Shannon, you've applied for a job at our company. Good, right?
Yes. Hi, Mr. Calamares. How are you?
Yeah, I got your resume right here. Yeah, thank you very much. I had to put my glasses on. The font was so small. Anyway, let's get started. Here we go. Yeah, all right. Tell me about yourself.
Yes, for sure. Well, my name is Shannon. I graduated from the University of North Carolina in 2019 in a degree in psychology.
Yeah, hold
hold
on a second. Hold on. Yeah, no, we got that delivery for later today. It's got to go out today. Okay, thank you. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah, no worries. Graduated with a degree in psychology because I wanted to learn how other people think and how to help people. So my first couple jobs in the past 2 years, I've been working in the finance industry as a call center representative, helping out personal investors with their investing needs, and then also in the mortgage industry, where I essentially helped out homeowners and with refinances. And now I'm going towards, I was interested in this role at Capital One because I believe in the mission of changing banking for good. And I definitely kind of want to help the customers on that front with all their credit card needs.
Oh, you're done? Okay, great, thanks. All right, so let me see here. Tell me about the time you worked on a team. I really want to hear teamwork because we're a big team here. We're really busy.
Yes, I love teamwork and I love collaboration. But one of the times—
hold on a second. Sorry. Yeah, boss. Yeah, let me finish up with this this interview person. Yeah. I hate this guy. Anyway, okay, all right. What's your name? Mary?
It's Shannon.
Shannon. Yeah. Sorry, I had your resume right here. Yeah. Okay, let's go.
All right, perfect. So as
we don't have all day here, so.
Of course, I understand your time, is limited, but wanted to talk about how I had an experience being on a team. So at my most recent job in the mortgage industry, I essentially help move clients' files forward when they first start out, applying to get a mortgage, and then I kind of help them get their documents together in time to close on the house. So I would say the team that I work on a client-to-client basis is kind of working with the realtor and also working with the client themselves, telling them what documents they need for the mortgage, and then just kind of making sure I'm working with our internal team members as well to make sure we get like the home inspection done, things like that. So you could say on a day-to-day basis with every single client I'm working with, there's a couple of key stakeholders that I am constantly in communication with, that I make sure to let them know of updates of how we're proceeding forward, things like that. So I just like to say in my current job, I'm always kind of working with different team members in a sense. And by doing that, I can kind of meet my metric of converting around 90% of the files that I do in a given month consistently.
So sorry, both Shannon and Matt, we're running out of time, so I'm going to have to hold there, but this is great. I just want to give folks a time to just give feedback. What are some of your thoughts? One of the things that I saw that I agree with is that Shannon was calm throughout the whole interview. She was calm and focused. Oop, that was my timer too. So, speaking of background noise.
And Cheryl, I'm gonna help a little with the chat because Matthew, everyone was amazed by your acting skills. People said everything from you're funny, but also that they thought you were doing it on purpose. Some folks just said that you were very distracted. So yes, if we could get a little feedback from Shannon and from Matthew about the strengths and weaknesses of your acting skills, which are amazing. A lot of laughter too. Everyone's LOL and emojis.
Yeah, I think it's important, like this is a great way to show that, yes, as an interviewee, we have to be good, but the interviewer isn't always going to be great. They're not always going to be great.
And I can assure you, this is not how I host an interview if you're applying to Capital One. This was prepared in advance. Shannon did a fantastic job. You can never really know if the interviewer is going to be focused. But look at how she handled herself. She was calm, she was collected. She didn't let that distract in the message she was trying to convey.
Completely agree. And that's a lot of people in the chat. And I'm so sorry, we're going to have to end this, but I did want to just say one thing, because something that the dogs made me realize in this, we do interviews in virtual space. Things happen. I mean, if you're interviewing and your dog starts to bark or the baby starts to cry, or I live next to the street, I get fire engines all the time. Keep it moving, like, oh, I'm sorry, fire engines, just keep it moving. It's okay, because the interviewer, they already know that we're living in weird times. So background noise, that's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Cheryl, sorry, if I could just add one thing.
Of course.
So thank you, Gary, because all of us, and Matt, oh my God, you need an Oscar for that acting. I do have to say, since I mentioned that I would transition to a new role, so I did interviews very recently. And since they were all virtual, one of my interviews had to be done while I was in the branch wearing a mask. So I actually informed all of my interviewers that I'm going to be in a branch wearing a mask. So once I'm on the video, they wouldn't be surprised. And after I got my role, and every person who interviewed me actually told me, thank you for letting me know, because that gave the extra step that you care about this role and you were very concentrated in your whole interview process. So if there's circumstances that normally wouldn't happen, it's a great idea to let your interviewer know so they can be prepared.
That's awesome advice. Thank you, Yesenia. That's awesome.
Awesome. So guys, I can't thank you enough, the whole Capital One team, Cheryl, Shannon, Yesenia, Matt, Gary, all for volunteering your time today. We learned a little bit more about the two most common interviews. So behavioral, and what was the second one? I'm so sorry, I'm blanking.
Case study.
Yes, exactly. Some tips, and then the amazing examples of what to do and not to do. And again, you just being prepared for what is to come. So being prepared for the jobs that you are applying for, but also for any kind of scenarios, let's say an interviewer, and being prepared as an interviewee as well. And then the follow-up tools that Cheryl provided and will be sharing at the end of the presentation. So we're gonna just check the chat really quick and the Q&A to see if there's any final questions. Okay, and just to continue with the programming, thank you guys again, and we'll check back to see if there's any additional questions, but we'll be moving on to our next presenter. And again, thank you so much, Capital One team, for this amazing presentation. That was awesome and super fun and interactive. So now we will be sharing some local openings that you can actually access and further explore and apply to as soon as today. We're hoping that all the tools that we provided from the previous sessions and today's sessions, you could definitely further explore and apply. First, we have Randstad, a multinational staffing agency that provides outsourcing staffing, consulting, and workforce solutions within a wide array of sectors. Today, we have an expert, Natalie Adorno. She is the Senior Staffing Manager of Office Professionals at Randstad, and she'll be presenting on their services. Thank you, Natalie, so much for joining us today. We're excited to have you here, and please take it away.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Vivi, for that introduction. Appreciate it. So I work in our Melville branch, and we cover from Manhattan to Melville. And we have a lot of other different locations. We are global. We cover, I think, 39 countries now. So we are a huge staffing firm, and we have a lot of other divisions as well. I specifically staff for office professionals, which means anything in an office like customer service, administration, HR, executive, clerks, anything accounting related. So anything pretty much in an office. Of course, there's like these other little niche roles, maybe like marketing or just even any type of like office help, right? So that's what I staff for. However, we do have a lot of other divisions as well if office is not your forte. I also work in a branch where we have a manufacturing and logistics team. So they staff for a lot of those types of roles in warehouses like picking and packing or forklift, for instance. So those are the two main divisions that we take care of here in New York. However, if those are not your industries, we also have engineering, which I believe it might be on the next slide, engineering, healthcare, IT, life sciences. Yep, there they all are. So there's a lot of other different divisions. They're just not all here specifically in New York, but you could always reach out to me and I can always send your info to that different division. But manufacturing and office is here in New York. But like I said, we are global. We also cover more executive search, which is Tatum, you'll see at the bottom right. So for like VPs, Rise Smart, we actually also assist with, career retirement, deployment, outplacement, and then transition services. I also cover a lot of interview prep throughout the process as well. And then Randstad SourceRight is dealing with payroll, recruitment outsourcing, integrated talent solutions as well. And then we also have people that stay in companies and have a seat there just to take care of that one company as a whole. So for jobs that we have available right now, is pretty much everything that I was saying. I have lots of customer service. Some are in the office, some are remote. So I'll always have that for sure. A lot of administrative and executive. So those are the main things that I do work on. So I do want to share my screen just to show you how to apply. Let's see. Okay, can you guys see? I think you should. Awesome. So literally I'm at randstadusa.com and the first thing says search jobs through Randstad. So I'll show you one that I just worked on. So I'm going to type in administrative assistant. This is probably one of the most common. And I staffed for this job in Manhattan, and I already know the zip code, so you can put in the zip code of wherever you are. Like I said, we are global. And then it says search 25 jobs, specifically with that title in that zip code. So this says where it is, permanent. That means it's a direct hire. The company will hire you, but we also cover contract positions, a certain type of length, and also temp to hire positions where you'd start with Randstad and then the company would take you on if it is a good fit for you and them. And then it always has a range and when it was posted. This one was posted almost a month ago. So tip, this is probably filled, which it is. It just got filled and she's starting next week. But I wanted to find one so that way you could see the summary, the category, everything about it. Like, literally most of the information is covered. And I believe there is an apply button. I can't quite see it because I can see everybody's screens on the top right.
Yes, it's at the top.
Okay, perfect. It is there. So if you haven't ever applied to Randstad, you can apply right there and go through the motion. However, a lot of times you're already in our system and you may not even know it. We own Monster, so all of that gets filtered through, plus so many get pulled through Indeed. So a lot of times you're already in our system. And honestly, so many people apply that we can't even get through all of them. So if you feel like you are the best fit for this job, what you need to do, go all the way down, check it out. Here's my information, the phone number and the email. The best thing to do is email that recruiter. And this is my email. If anybody has any questions, feel free to screenshot that or jot that down and reach out to me. But the best thing for you to do is email the recruiter and put the job title on the description, and then write a little blurb about why you think that you're going to be a good fit for this job. That's going to get their attention more than just applying, because too many people apply and we cannot go through them all. And you have to look for the roles that have just been posted. If it's a month old, most likely, like I mentioned, this has already been filled. It's going to expire, I think, tomorrow. So that's also just a little tip, but I just wanted to show you that. So hopefully that helps, and some tips for you guys. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Okay, awesome. So thank you so much, Natalie. That was super informative, just to see what the platform looks like, the wide array of offerings that you have, and also just showing us what the application process looks like. So guys, it's pretty easy. And again, I think that tip was super helpful also, Natalie, because I do know that there's a lot of recruiters that are just getting bombarded by resumes. So you want to stand out and definitely send that specific email. So thank you for that tip. That was super informative. And Natalie shared her information. Again, guys, we're going to be sharing the presentation at the end. So don't worry if you missed it or you did not jot it down. Natalie, if you could just pop that into the chat, that'll be awesome. But again, we appreciate you taking your time, and the whole team at Randstad and Julio also for making the connections. We appreciate your partnership. And we have one more recruitment manager that's going to be joining us. So we have Stephanie Wilches. She's a recruiting manager from Gate Group. Gate Group is the global leader in airline catering, retail onboard, and hospitality products and services. She will also be sharing some open positions from her location. She's at LaGuardia, and we are so excited to have you join us, Stephanie, today. Take it away. Hi, Stephanie. I think.
Hi, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yes. So it's my pleasure being part of the team right now. And I mean, it relies on many things to carry on an interview. But I think it has been covered everything from my perspective with my colleagues. So now I will be introducing the company. And so if you can please click on the next slide. So Gate Gourmet, it's a company that hires around the globe because we are in every single airport. We have our main product service is catering. So we serve food on the aircraft, And we, as a company, are the second largest airline catering. We provide different type of service, but our main business is with the major airlines. We provide around 534,000 meals a day worldwide, on an average of 195 millions every day. We have flight kitchens in 30 different countries. Moreover, we do offer different type of benefits at our company. So I don't know if you see, but I have an accent, and so I'm originally coming from Ecuador. I'm a Latin American person as part of the, what it comes to the United States. So therefore, here we hire different type of backgrounds. We do have Hispanic people here at LaGuardia, and we are equipped with different course and training procedures for all type of labor force. So if you can please pass the next slide. Yeah. So joining us will bring you global opportunities. So we have managers that have been encouraging from the very first step of coming as an assistant for the dispatch center, and then getting until becoming a manager. So we have excellent trainings and development careers. Well, like I said, we are multicultural, diverse. We have experience in a fast-paced world. I know it's a little bit complicated when it comes to selecting a company, because you usually seek for a position that fits your expertise. So in our company, we do not require the expertise for each position, because we provide the training and all type of courses that requires the job. We also participate in different high performance competitions. And so we encourage people to do their best and refer us to their friends, because we are always hiring. We do have a great pool here in New York of people that have been able to successfully, come along with different referrals. We do have a bonuses on referrals, depending on the position that the person stays and over the time how long it stays. So we are a very, I will say, this is from my end, rewarding company for good employees. Please, if you can go to the next slide. So the type of benefits that we offer at Gate Gourmet, we have 3 meals for each of our employees. We have free parking lot, free uniforms. We have different type of life insurance that are the basic, that requires many things from us to make you very suitable on prices and all the needs that need to cover for you and probably your family members. So we encourage people to do the Gate Gourmet benefits in order for us to sponsor the different type of medical insurance that we have. We also have vacation and sick benefit after a year. We have holidays pay also after 1 year. We do recognize the employees through company benefits, like you would say discounts and most of the locations. We also have, like I said, medical coverage, dental, vision, flexible spending accounts, short and long-term disability programs. We have 41K with up to 3% company match for most of the location, and employees also are very well referred to an employee assistance program. We also have, more benefits that we also carry on those orientation sessions. But so the position that we currently have are for food prepare, cook, head cook. Also, we have for drivers, for dish room attendants, and assistant admin, meaning any person that can carry administrative tasks will be able to help us with the dispatcher center. We do have a rate according to the position. For instance, we have equipment set up at $17 per hour. We have the food prepare at $17 too. We have a driver for $18.50 and a dish room attendant $17. And also the assistant positions, we have it at $17 per hour. Now, our company is usually one of the most, I don't want to say with discrepancy to my colleagues that have already presented, but it's one of the rewarding company around the world. So we do encourage different type of benefits. And when it comes to pay rate, we have a benefit supplement that adds to every single person an additional bonuses. So at the end of all our positions, it will be very, very fair and equivalent to all of them, meaning, for instance, a position that the payment is $17 per hour, it will add an additional bonuses and it will come to $21.54. And that is also for all of the positions that we have here, because we have a fair treat to every single employee that we have. And so we want everybody to have the same rate, not because of a title, but because we encourage people to perform well. And if you can please pass to the next one. To the next slide, please. We have a way to apply. As you can see, you can visit our website at gategroup.com. And this section, you will see a career tab. And then later on, you will have the selecting button for search positions in North America, flashing. And then you can go to the selection and, apply on the interesting career. Now, we do have some technical issues going on our website. So I would like to give my phone to all the attendees. So if you have any problem, or if you would like to give me a call in order for us to process your application faster, please take a note. My number is 571-315-0033. I repeat, 571-315-0033. And so from my end, that's all that we wanted to share with you today. Those interviews for the mocks and everything that I have seen so far has been really what it comes to true interviews and what we see every day. And I believe it doesn't really matter when it comes to the expertise and the years around the business industry. It all goes to what you really want to show. And so from my end, I think I have shown a little bit of everything of what we have. I'm very welcome to hear your intrigues, questions, and so I pass on our moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. That was great. Thank you for sharing all the open positions, us understanding a little bit more about Gate Group and everything you do, the amazing benefits at a local level. But I think both with Randstand and with Gate Group, we noticed that for our webinars, we have people tuning in, not only in New York, but all across the United States and globally. So we also have a few people visiting or tuning in, I mean, from the UK, from Kenya. So if there's presence anywhere, you need to access positions in the different locations that both of our recruiters today are offering. We're hoping that this could definitely serve as a platform for that. So yes, I did see that your number was in the chat also, Stephanie, but if you have any questions, we're checking in. I see a lot of thank yous and great session, a lot of positive feedback, guys. So thank you so much again. And on behalf of the Hispanic Federation, I do want to thank our partners at the NYC Department of Youth and Community Development, as well as all of our presenters today. So our Capital One team, Cheryl, Matt, Yesenia, Shannon, Gary, thank you so much for that amazing and interactive presentation with your concrete examples also for our audience. But also thank you to Natalie Adorno for Randstand and Stephanie from Great Group. I think the series was very comprehensive of the tools that you'll need to obtain and the skill building that you can attain, all services for free, guys. And that's, I think, our intention, that for you to understand you're not alone on this journey. You have folks that are supporting you on this route, and all of our services are for free. So please stay connected. And I do want to give a special shout out not only to all of our presenters, but also Peter, my teammate and colleague that has been of great support during this webinar series. And Peter, if you have any words before we close out.
No, thank you, Vivi. And it's been a pleasure to work on this with you. I just want to thank all of you for attending and really for being so interactive. It makes it so much easier for us to present information, knowing you're giving us feedback and responding. And the presenters, you all did a great job today. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, guys. And again, we're going to continue to bring these services to you. And we want to know how we're doing. So if you can please scan the QR code that's on your screen, and we'll be sending the link via email as well. But we want to get your feedback on other resources that can be of interest to you. So if you can, please take 2 minutes to complete the survey. That would be great. And then also, if you would like to learn more about the Hispanic Federation and the wide array of things that we do, please visit our website at hispanicfederation.org and click on Get Updates to stay in the loop with upcoming events and a wide range of topics. I'll be sharing some events with you soon, but we are currently promoting our health insurance assistance hotline, where you can call or email the following information that's shown on the screen to get help for health insurance. And if that is of interest to you and to your family, please contact us. And then I'm showcasing the following events that we have. Peter, next slide, please. So this is going to be our great event. It's a community event that's going to be in person, taking place next week, June 4th. We're hoping that most of you or anyone that's in the New York area that can join us, please does. It's called Vive tu Vida, or Get Up, Get Moving. That's taking place Saturday, June 4th from 11 a.m. to 2:30. Please come and join us. It's on St. Nicholas Avenue between 185th and 186th. So we're closing down the street, guys. We're gonna have family activity, free health screenings, and free economic empowerment resources. So everything from financial to small business resources to share with the community. There's gonna be raffles, games, prizes. So please, if you can, join us. For more information, you can call 866-432-9832. And we're hoping to see you guys in person. Next slide, please, Peter. Then we have Vida Latina, Nutrición y Salud. This event is going to be in Spanish, and it's going to be shared on our Facebook Live. It's going to be June 9th. If you have any family members and friends that are interested in knowing a little bit more about health and nutrition, this is going to be that place to be, June 9th at 4 p.m. via our Facebook Live. And our next, right after, next slide, please. another event in Spanish called Estafas y Fraudes Relacionadas con el Asilo. So this is for scams and frauds related to asylum. This is going to take place the 16th of June, also Facebook Live, and it's going to be in Spanish. So any family, friends, or if this is of interest to you, please tune in. Very informative, and we'll have experts on the field to give information to the audience. And lastly, so I just wanted some closing remarks, and I'll be soon. We're coming up to the final time. So this is the final event of our Career Webinar Expo Series 2022. I would like to thank all of you for attending this event, especially the folks that we've noticed have tuned in since that first webinar. I hope you guys are walking away with resources to prepare yourself again on your career pathways and whatever you envision to be the best route for you on your career journey. We also want to just acknowledge everyone that's joined us, taking the time out of their busy schedules to bring these resources to you as well. We're going to share all this information via email, and we are limited on our gift cards. We've had so much folks tuning in, so it is a limited supply per each webinar. So please stay tuned for those folks that have completed the surveys that are in the local area. You'll be receiving that via email as well. And we are confident that you will establish a career and a path that's right for you and accomplish your career goals. We are super excited to bring you these resources. And again, the programming, we hope it will serve you as a resource on your journey. So again, thank you all for attending, all of our partners in volunteering your time. Thank you again. Stay safe and stay connected to the Hispanic Federation. Thank you guys, and have a good afternoon. Bye everyone. Thank you.